We're starting the bulletin with Mumbai. Death toll in the Goregaon building collapse has now risen to 3 people. 8 people already have been injured in this under-construction building that collapsed near the Azad Maidan in Goregaon West. All the injured are reportedly stable and some of them have also been discharged. NDRF team have reached the spot and rescue operation is underway. In fact, all the injured laborers were working from the MHADA construction project.
हमारे आने के बाद हमने 2 विक्टिम को निकाले हैं और उसको हमने हैंड ओवर कर दिया है और फर्दर हमारा यहाँ पर दोबारा चालू है कि हमने कैनाइन सर्च के दौरान अभी देख रहे हैं कि अगर कोई रिस्पॉन्सिबल मिलता है या कुछ ऐसा है यहाँ पर आगे की तो हम उसको देखेंगे, आगे के लिए फर्दर आपकी जानकारी दी जाएगी।
ये घटना सवेरे 8:30 बजे की है, लगभग 8:30 बजे ये घटना हुई और हमको जिस तरीके से समझ में आया कि ये 3 मंजिला इमारत बन रही थी और ये 3 मंजिला इमारत अनधिकृत इमारत है और ये सिर्फ और सिर्फ प्रशासन की गलती की वजह से ये सब चीज़ें हुई है।
One 2-story building has collapsed in Mumbai, and this building was situated in Motilal Nagar area of Goregaon West, and this whole incident took place around 9:30 am in the morning. And in this whole incident, as of now, 8 people are injured and unfortunately 3 people have died. And NDRF was here with the local authorities and they tried to clear this area as soon as possible, and now NDRF have called off their rescue operation, but disaster management is still here and they are trying to clear this whole debris. With camera person Nitin Varne, Shivangi Thakur in Mumbai for India Today.
And big political development of the day. After several rounds of talks, the NDA has finalized the seat-sharing deal for Bihar in 2019 Lok Sabha elections. And after chairing a crucial meeting of the NDA's Bihar allies RJD and LJP, Bharatiya Janata Party Chief Amit Shah announced the seat-sharing pact at his residence. Now, according to this pact, the Bharatiya Janata Party and the Janata Dal United will contest on 17 seats for Lok Sabha each in Bihar, while the LJP will be fighting on 6 seats. Besides, LJP Chief Ram Vilas Paswan will be allotted 1 Rajya Sabha seat. After announcing this seat-sharing formula, the BJP Chief Amit Shah also expressed probable hope over NDA's victory in Bihar. Remember, the BJP had contested 30 seats in 2014 Lok Sabha elections and won 22. Similarly, the JDU had contested on 38 seats and LJP on 7 seats.
भारतीय जनता पार्टी 17 सीटों पर चुनाव लड़ेगी, जदयू 17 सीटों पर चुनाव लड़ेगी और लोक जनशक्ति पार्टी 6 लोकसभा सीटों पर बिहार में चुनाव लड़ेगी। और रामविलास पासवान साहब भी एनडीए के प्रत्याशी नाते इमीडिएट जो राज्यसभा का चुनाव आएगा उसमें एनडीए के प्रत्याशी रूप में राज्यसभा में एनडीए की ओर से आएंगे।
अगला जो चुनाव आएगा एनडीए की फिर से सरकार बनेगी। और जहां तक क्या कहते हैं कि बिहार का सवाल है, जैसा कि नीतीश जी ने कहा कि बिहार में जितना सीट अभी तक जो मिला है उससे ज़्यादा टारगेट तो रहना चाहिए 40 में 40 सीट का, है ना। लेकिन हम जो इतना भी जो है 1-2 सीट हम नहीं कर सकते हैं, लेकिन मान लेते हैं कि सभी सीट पर जो है सो हम कब्जा करते हैं कि करेंगे।
Now, soon after this formula of the seat-sharing pact was clear, Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar spoke exclusively to India Today. Listen in to what Nitish Kumar is saying.
ये तो आपको पहले ही अनाउंस हो ही गया था कि हम लोग बराबर सीट पर लड़ेंगे।
सर, और इशू क्या रहेंगे?
6 सीटें मिली हैं, बहुत ठीक है।
पर आपको लगता है सर क्या क्रूशियल इश्यूज होंगे? आपको लगता है राम मंदिर एक बड़ा इशू होगा?
हमारे क्रूशियल इश्यूज विकास ही है। हम न्याय के साथ विकास के लिए प्रतिबद्ध हैं और बिहार में जो काम हुआ है उसके आधार पर बिहार के तमाम लोगों को मालूम है। बाकी जितना भी प्रचार लोग करते रहें, बिहार में इन लोगों के प्रचार वगैरह का कोई असर नहीं होने वाला।
राम मंदिर कितना बड़ा, सर राम मंदिर को लेकर कितना बड़ा इशू होगा?
ये है कि हर पार्टी की अपनी अपनी राय चलती रहती है। लेकिन एक बात अच्छी तरह जान लीजिए कि आज से नहीं, जब 96 से ही हम लोग साथ में आए थे, उस समय से ही कहा था, और एनडीए भी जब 99 में बनी थी तब भी, बीच में भले ही हम अलग हो गए थे, लेकिन हम लोगों का प्रारंभ से ही रहा है कि इस मसले का समाधान या तो कोर्ट के फैसले से होगा या आपसी सहमति से होगा।
But this has not come without jibes and controversy. Rashtra Lok Samata Party National President Upendra Kushwaha took a jibe at the BJP over this announcement. Listen in.
नीतीश जी के साथ जो 50-50 17-17 का बंटवारा हुआ है, निश्चित रूप से हमारे प्रधानमंत्री जी तब जब प्रधानमंत्री नहीं बने थे उस वक्त देश भर में घूम घूम कर कहते थे, उनके लोग भी कहते थे कि 36 इंच के सीना वाले हैं, अब 56 इंच के सीना वाले हैं। अब 56 इंच के सीना वाले भी नतमस्तक हो गए उसके सामने जिसने थाली छीन ली थी।
Rohit Singh joining me from Patna. Rohit, are these arrangements of 17 seats and 6 seats for LJP as per what was demanded, or do you think that there has been compromise?
Well, Pooja, as far as the partners of India are concerned, obviously the major beneficiary here is Nitish Kumar, because remember in 2014 when he fought the Lok Sabha elections, the party won only 2 seats, but today they have got 17 seats. So that's 15 more than they had in 2014. So the major beneficiary is definitely Nitish Kumar. As far as Ram Vilas Paswan's party, Lok Janshakti Party is concerned, obviously they were demanding that they should be given 7 seats, what they had fought in 2014, and 7 is what they have got. 1 in form of Rajya Sabha and 6 Lok Sabha seats. So that's basically status quo for the Lok Janshakti Party. And that is why the opposition here in Bihar, especially Upendra Kushwaha, is now taking jibes at Prime Minister Narendra Modi, saying that he had a 56-inch chest, but now that 56-inch chest has literally bowed before Chief Minister Nitish Kumar's whims and fancies. So it's not without reason that the opposition is taking a jibe at the central leadership of the BJP, but obviously...
And Rohit, on a lighter note, the fact that Chirag Paswan and Ram Vilas Paswan specifically have managed to stay on means probably the BJP still has some chance, because Paswans are known to shift as per where the wind is blowing. Rohit, thank you. We are cutting focus on this issue right now. There, Tejasvi Yadav on your screen, Upendra Kushwaha as well speaking. This is in Patna. Listen in. All right, remember there have been the seat sharing formula which has been the main controversy, and of course parties like that of the RJD are keenly watching, and Kushwaha, having very recently jumped on to the other side, wants to take a jibe on the Bharatiya Janata Party as well. Now just take a look at these seats. At this juncture it's been finally decided that the BJP JDU will contest on 17 seats each out of 40 seats that goes to Lok Sabha from Bihar. Bihar is an important state for the parliamentary elections, and the LJP, the party of the Paswans, have decided to go on 6 seats. Now, before we go across to that press briefing, I just want to take you through these graphics of the NDA pact, because the Paswans had threatened. They had said there might be problems if they are not given deserving seats, and now Ram Vilas Paswan likely to be given a Rajya Sabha seat and also 7 seats for the LJP. But will that be as easy now? Is it all controversy over? Nitish Kumar had to arrive in Delhi about 3 days ago. He did not really speak at that moment, did not want to react, but now he's finally spoken and said all is clear for these parties, and we have decided to go ahead and agreeable with the 17 seat each. So at least for now, the NDA stays on. We will quickly come across later to this press briefing as and when it begins. Controversy over Sabrimala continues in Kerala, because Sabrimala continues to be on the edge as the face-off between Ayyappa devotees and women devotees now worsening. Ayyappa devotees took to streets to protest the entry of the women contingent of over 30 women to that shrine. Bharatiya Janata Party leader Shobha Surendran has also joined this protest. This despite the presence of police personnel and tightened security in and around the area. Police had to rescue women devotees and escort them out. As a result, the team of women have now been asked to return and will be shifted then to Nilakal. Checking and searches are currently underway at the Kottayam railway station on trains bearing Sabrimala devotees. Police personnel are said to be specifically taking notes of women belonging to the age group of the kind which is not permitted into the shrine. Remember, the Pathanamthitta district magistrate has extended prohibitory orders issued under section 144, which means not more than 4 people can congregate at a location in and around Sabrimala till 27th December. High-level observer committee constituted by Kerala High Court, however, refused to intervene in this issue.
Actually, about 11 of those females they came to visit, to have darshan at Sabrimala. So we have given all sort of securities what they want, but they were stopped by the other devotees, other pilgrims at DFMD. So they could not go. Go further, and they returned back.
Actually, there is a lot of inflow and outflow of pilgrims. More than around 1 lakh pilgrims come each day. So in such a situation, we have to ensure that the safety of other pilgrims also equally important. And if we resort to use of any violence or anything like that, or any force, it will cause a lot of damage, especially to old age people, elderly people and children.
Going across to Shalini Lobo for the details. Shalini, why again have the women not been able to go to the shrine as has been approved by the court? What are the problems being faced by the police personnel?
Well, Pooja, the court did say that women across ages can go to Sabrimala temple, but on the ground it's completely different. Today you had 11 women reach there 3:45 a.m. at Pamba. They had to go back as devotees got there before the break of dawn, sat there in protest and ensured that none of the devotees could leave the police control room. They had to leave the area under police escort. Now I'm at the Kottayam railway station. This is the closest railway station to Sabrimala, where pilgrims, as you can see behind me, get off here. There are KSRTC buses from here. You can hire private taxis and go to Sabrimala temple. Now, in fact, what happened just half an hour back, Pooja, was a 40-year-old lady who came in from Tamil Nadu, a lady called Jnana Sundari, just 40 years old. She says she never had children and wanted to go to the Ayyappa temple so that she could pray to him. The locals in the area gathered, the people who are going to the Sabrimala temple gathered around her and tried convincing her not to go. And after that, it's the police who took her in, got her into another train. Now, what the police also is doing here at the Kottayam railway station is they've kept a lot of female police officers who enter the bus and see how many women are actually going up between the ages of 10 and 50 who are going to Erimeli or Pamba. Those are the stops where they go to the Sabrimala temple, and they are noting it down and informing their higher authorities as well. So at the Kottayam railway station where these people get down, police is ensuring round the clock that they take note and inform the higher authorities to avoid any kind of law and order crisis that can break out.
Shalini, thank you so much for the details. I'll come back to you for updates. This means the area in and around Sabrimala continues to remain tense. All right, a big breaking news coming in. Owaisi has now slammed Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan for wading into the alleged intolerance row in India. Now, he's reacted on social media site Twitter, and I quote here, "According to the Pakistani constitution, only a Muslim is qualified to be president. India, however, has seen multiple presidents from oppressed communities as well. It is high time that Khan Saab learns something from us about inclusive politics and minority rights." That's Asaduddin Owaisi speaking about, remember, Imran Khan, who had reacted and taken a jibe at the Modi government against the remark made by veteran actor Nasiruddin Shah. Ashish Pandey is joining me. Ashish, so interestingly, Owaisi, who's usually critical of the union government, has decided to step in and give a lesson or two to Imran Khan.
Yes, Pooja, you are absolutely right. The Hyderabad MP and Chief of All India Ittihadul Majlis-e Muslimin, MIM party, tweeted lashing out on Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan, who has said that he will actually teach Modi government and show Modi government how to treat minority. Reacting on this comment of Pakistani Prime Minister, Hyderabad MP came out in support of a union government, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and he has tweeted that actually Pakistan should rather ponder itself, and they should really think and question themselves rather questioning or pointing finger on India. India is a vibrant country, a democratic country where minorities are actually living quite happily, and they have actually quite well settled life, right life here, and clearly one open support coming out from senior leader of MIM party.
All right, interestingly, Owaisi has reacted, and really is Pakistan the country to tell India about minority rights? But listen in to what Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan was quick to jump in when Naseeruddin Shah had made that comment. Listen in.
आज के हिंदुस्तान में मैं अभी वो नसीरुद्दीन शाह का पढ़ा था, जो एक्टर, वो जो आप बातें कर रहे हैं, वो सारी वो चीजें हैं जो कायदे आजम तब कर चुके थे कि उन्होंने कहा था कि हिंदुस्तान में मुसलमानों को बराबर का शहरी समझा जाएगा। वो आज हिंदुस्तान में हो रहा है। पाकिस्तान में ये साबित करना है कि हमने अपने जो भी माइनॉरिटीज हैं, जो भी अकलियतें हैं, हमने उनको बराबर के शहरी बनाना है। और ये सबसे ज्यादा हमने खास तौर पे नरेंद्र मोदी के हिंदुस्तान को बताना है कि हम अपनी अकलियतों को कैसे रखते हैं और आप अपनी अकलियतें कैसे रखते हैं।
But that's not all. In fact, Union Home Minister Rajnath Singh also decided to react on this ongoing controversy. Rajnath Singh is saying India is a tolerant country. Listen in.
भारत दुनिया का ऐसा इकलौता देश है यहाँ पर कि विश्व में जितने भी प्रमुख धर्म पाए जाते हैं, उस सारे धर्म के लोग यदि कहीं पर आपस में मिलजुल कर रह रहे हैं तो भारत में ही रह रहे हैं। और यहाँ तक कि मैं कई बार बोल चुका हूँ, फिर से अपनी इस बात को दोहराना चाहता हूँ कि इवन इस्लामिक कंट्रीज में भी इस्लाम के जो 72 जो फिरके होते हैं, वो 72 फिरके नहीं मिलते हैं, केवल मिलते हैं तो भारत में मिलते हैं। इसलिए यहाँ पर इंटॉलरेंस का कोई सवाल नहीं। जितने भी धर्म के लोग मानने वाले हैं, सब साथ मिलजुल कर रहते हैं, साथ मिलजुल कर रहेंगे और भारत को एक सशक्त, स्वाभिमानी, स्वावलंबी, समृद्धशाली भारत बनाने में अपना योगदान कर रहे हैं और करेंगे।
The winter season is finally setting in and North India is already feeling the chill. A thick fog engulfed the Delhi NCR region this morning, reducing the visibility to 50 meters, affecting road and train traffic. Now 20 cars in the Baghpat area in Uttar Pradesh also sadly rammed into each other due to dense fog. Around 12 people were injured in this accident. Cold wave over North India have intensified because of northwesterly winds from Jammu and Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh. Mercury is believed to have gone down in Kashmir, with Leh in the Ladakh region experiencing its coldest nights of the winter season so far. Tourist destinations Himachal Pradesh such as Shimla and Dalhousie in Chamba district have developed a snow blanket to the delight of all tourists.
Thanks for watching the video. For more such news and updates, please like, share and subscribe to India Today. Also check out our other great videos from our channel. We know you would love to.